Hello, my name is Andrew Betwain. I'm the editor of fundoperator.com, and today I'm joined by Dimitri Tsopanakos, who is the partner, head of investment management of data analytics at Deloitte. Dimitri, how are you?
I'm very well, Andrew, and thank you very much for having me today.
Pleasure to have you. Well, Dimitri will be speaking at our Fund Operator Summit Europe on the 15th of November in London. His presentation will be on how technology can drive value in the asset management landscape, the role of artificial intelligence and advanced analytics. So, Dimitri, I'm going to dive straight into some questions for you to get whet our appetite around this presentation. Can you talk to me about in the post-pandemic world? Quote unquote, maybe. What changes are we seeing in technology and AI in the fund operations space?
That's a very nice question. Well, I think there's two elements to this. One is the business element, and then the other one is the regulatory element. So on the business element, obviously, fund operators and wider investment managers in the market are now looking to address things like hybrid working, operational resilience, how they approach their more diverse model in the market,
Hmm.
digital channels with end clients and customers. There's a lot of things that in a pre kind of pandemic world did not really exist, or they did exist, but they were more of an outlier, and
Hmm.
now they have become, part of their business. On the regulatory side, obviously, there's a lot of scrutiny now in the way they operate. And artificial intelligence has now, and we see advanced technology and artificial intelligence to be now applied in things like regulatory reporting, operational resilience, things like surveillance monitoring, how they monitor the business, a digital experience with clients, and an acceleration in this. And it's not just because of a kind of a post-pandemic experience, but at the same time, the market is accelerating. People, talk about artificial intelligence like it's something new. It's not
Hmm.
really new. I mean, I've been a trader all my life before Deloitte, and I remember early 90s where we were talking about algorithm-based decisions for execution in the market, and that was 1992, 1993. Then early 2000s, we're using a lot of these models directly in the market. The difference today is that we're using patterns where the models are learning rather than just deciding on what we tell them to do. So these are
Hmm.
kind of the major differences I see.
I don't know how you were at work already in 1992 when you're only 25, Dimitri. How can you possibly be that? So my next question is kind of around the wider sphere of technology. The place of technology in the business and operations strategy area is one that's often up for debate. Is it an expense or is it an asset? And how can tech finally break free of having to sit through this debate and change people's mindsets?
Yes, a second very good question. I think the market is split on this. Personally, I never see such initiatives as an expense or as a cost. There's always a cost. There's always an
Mm,
expense, and that's why I don't see it directly that. I think the right question that boards and senior executives need to ask themselves before they make a decision in this space is what is the cost value ratio? I'm going to be paying, I'm not going to be investing in something. What am I getting back?
mm,
When I work with boards and with CEOs, the question I always get back is the so what? So if I do this, what will I get back? And there's always a business case, and that business case is not easy to put together. But we have good examples in the past. 10, 15 years ago, a lot of the organizations, especially the larger players in the market, started treating data as an asset rather than as a cost. We heard a lot of data monetization and how do you make sure you get value out of data. A lot of these organizations and firms have already achieved that. And it's a great benchmark that I always respond and remind our clients that they have been successful in this space. They just need to apply it onto the technology element too. It's not easy, and it will never be easy, but getting that ratio right and understanding where you need to focus your investments, your effort, your people is very important. And one last thing is treating something as an asset also means that aligning your culture and your cultural model to this. Your people need to understand that technology is their friend, they're not their foe. And if they can achieve that, then that can become a valuable benefit rather than an expense very, very quickly.
it's a really fascinating area and one that's up for debate. And it's, I think, no matter what we say, we're going to still be debating this a long time in the future. But my final question to you, and I know this is going to be quite a broad one, so whet our appetite and give us a bit of an overview for us. Uh, can you talk me through artificial intelligence and advanced analytics place in driving revenue and growth in other values for the fund operator?
Yeah, so obviously we probably need quite some time to debate on this, and I hope we are going to have that experience and an opportunity in the summit. But to briefly talk about it, I did mention the digital channels. We definitely see an acceleration on the digital experience with clients, with all the apps that they're using at the moment, and different channels in the market. Artificial intelligence, and especially things like natural language processing and machine learning, has now been applied, and has been applied fully, where all the firms are now using it in such form, either very simple form through a smartphone or a smart tablet, with their clients. The second one is more on what we call second and third line, where you have a lot of your cost centers, and how you apply artificial intelligence to turn them into a profit center. We've seen over the years there's so much data and there's so much information, so much resource available in second line that it's not being utilized. So with the use of artificial intelligence, and especially machine learning, we utilize those data sets to provide more valuable information to the front office, to the people who are client facing, to the people who talk in the market, to arm
Mm,
them with better information, so to drive growth in a better way. And the third element, if you go even further into your third line and talk about legal, third-party suppliers, there's a lot of talk about outsourcing, different models, alternative models of delivery, and how you actually structure your internal organization in such a way, utilizing artificial intelligence or advanced analytics to better manage your internal costs and third parties, as a partner, but also as a supplier to the organization. So these are the three areas I really see driving growth going forward, with an overlay of obviously the regulator trying to achieve that by guiding the firms to make it more safe and transparent to their clients.
Well, consider my appetite whetted. So thank you very much for those insights, Dimitri. There's some really, really great ideas there. And what you can do is you can go onto clearpathanalysis.com's website and register for Fund Operator Summit, which will be in November in London. And you can hear Dimitri speak in much more detail about that. So he'll be able to give you examples. He'll have a flow chart. There'll be highlighter pens probably. And he'll really go into some detail about this fascinating subject. So I'd like to thank him for his time, and thank you for watching very much. And I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.